Hello, friends. What's up? This old black bone, black cat, howling Larry, blind lemon Larry, old mud bone. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Hey guys, how's it going? Early morning sessions. Just woke up. God, hair's a mess. Look at this. Look at this. Plunking on the old 57 Les Paul. It's almost like cheating when you play the guitar. It's like no guitar should be this awesome. It feels like you're cheating somehow. But anyway, just checking in. I'm sorry, I look pretty rough. Jeez, I didn't drink last night, I swear. Maybe that's why I look so rough. Anyway, I'm super excited about today. I get to work with an old friend that I haven't seen in ages. A fellow named Mark Bright, who was a record producer that I used to work for all the time, back in the old days. Back when we were all kicking ass in the music business. Oh, man. He made all those Carrie Underwood records that put her on the map, you know. And your old buddy, Uncle Larry, played all those guitars. And always loved working with Mark in the studio because he's such a positive force. He was like a great cheerleader, you know. He really gets you excited about what you're doing, and just wonderful. I haven't seen him in years, and really looking forward to seeing him. You know, we've all aged quite a bit since those days. You know, I often think about, like, I look at my phone at a million musician contacts that I have. A million. I mean, I know every musician in this town. And like, I think about how different we all are now these days as we were back in our 30s. 30s, man, everybody's trying to prove themselves. We're all young and we all think that we've got the answer, you know, and everybody's got that desire to like build their empire and just dominate, you know. And there's ego involved, and there's just 30s is wicked time for people, you know, like you've got enough experience, energy to become dangerous, you know. When you get up into my age in the 50s, you know, you realize that we're all just lucky to be there. And all of us realize that when we get in our 50s, you know. But man, those 30s, when I think back at how different some of my friends are now than they used to be, including myself. I'm not excluding myself from that bunch. I used to think that every thought I thought was the most important thing that anyone ever thought when I was 38. That's exactly how I felt. I'd be on a session and I'd be playing a part, and somebody would say, man, I don't know about that part you're playing. I'd be like, I know about it. It's fucking awesome. It was insufferable because I thought I knew everything. Then I realized I knew nothing. And I feel like just now I'm starting to figure this shit out. Like I'm starting to actually understand how it all works. But this, you know, 20 some years later, right? But we all go through that. It's fascinating, really. I meet people, I run into people that I haven't seen since back in those days, and they still think of me as that person, you know. I think they're always a little amazed at how much I've sort of changed in my outlook and things, you know what I mean? But that's such as life. It's the arc of life. 20s and 30s, as we've talked about, is all about acquiring, bringing on more stuff, more family, more stuff, more land. And then the 40s, early 40s, you still got a little bit of that. By about mid 40s, you don't give a fuck. You want to get rid of everything. And then by 50, you realize, man, I just want to be invited to the party. I'm just lucky to be there. I don't care about the stuff. I just want to, you know, enjoy the people while we're all still here, you know. It's a weird thing, the arc of life. I see my friends in their 20s and 30s that are still in the total acquisition phase of life, and it makes me laugh because I was so like that. I was so, man, bring on the stuff, man. Bring on the stuff. I mean, it may seem like I still have a bit of that in me because I still buy guitars, but you should have seen me back in those days, friends. Oh man, it was pitiful. But that's how we all do. But anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing Mark. Love the boy. He's a sweet, sweet man. We used to sit and have the greatest chats on sessions in between songs. Very smart dude, Mark Bright. Looking forward to seeing him today. Been a long time. Yesterday I had a blast working with Dan Auerbach and Pat Carney over at the Easy Eye Sound, working on some new Black Keys stuff. Those guys are so much fun. Funny cats, man. And the hang is so unique over there. It's just great. Very creative. See, there's two types of studios, okay? There's corporate studio, and then there's the creator studio, okay? They're both cool. The corporate studio is the big industrial type studio where there's nothing set up. If you want to play something, you got to bring it, set it up, mic it, and then record it. And then there's a creator studio where all the gear is laying around. It's already plugged in. It's already mic'd up. And you just go out and do it. That's where I want to be. I love studios like that. That's how dance places. It's plug and play. we're sitting there thinking about how to make this track better and better and better, brainstorming ideas. And I'll say, man, how about maybe I should replay that piano on the second verse. Go do it. Already mic'd up. Maybe you should put a Rhodes part on that part. Go do it. Put vibes on stuff. Play guitar parts. It's all mic'd up. Everything's ready to go. Total creative freedom to just whatever you could dream of. It's already there. That's how I like doing it. All my favorite studios are that way. I can't tell you how many times I've been in one of those corporate studios where I have this thought, man, I wish we just had a so-and-so on this and this. There's not one there. No one brought one. It's just like a matter of like, well, we'll have to do that later, you know. Really satisfying when you're in a creative place where you can really do it all at once, you know, and you can really build a track out the way you want to. Because we all hear things in our head, you know, like parts that could be there. Like Dan is extremely creative. He's very musical, and and Pat as well, of course. But like, aside from being an unbelievable singer, he hears things, hears parts, and very creative. You know, you start playing something, and he's like, "That's killer," but don't do that. Do this part, leave that part out. Great editor, right? That's cool, man. Those are the kind of people I want to be working with, and there's a lot of people like that in this town. They're very, very creative, very good artists, and I mean drawing, painting, like music, you know. Because you just sit and listen to a song, you let it wash over you. And what I do is I just picture all the things that it could be there, and I want to make sure each transition is, every corner I turn in that song is delivering, you know. Like when that pre-chorus hits, is it doing everything you want it to do? Is it massaging your ears just right when it turns that corner? Like, and if it's not, I try to think, what's missing, you know? Like we were listening to this song yesterday, and it was sounding amazing. It'll probably be their new single or whatever. But there's this little jazzy, not jazzy, but this sort of cool little pre-chorus bit with some interesting chords, and I just kept saying, man, it's just not delivering like it should, you know. And I go, it's just not as warm as it should be. And I said, man, what if I went out and just put Rhodes on those 4 chords? He goes, go do it, man. Went out there and did it, and of course, the track just lights up. It's just the best. It's the best thing. It's my favorite thing in life to do that. I mean, aside from being in the pool with my kids, that kind of shit, as far as on a work level, that is the most important, interesting stuff to me. And then you hear those records back years later, and it's like, man, you can remember all the blood you put into that stuff, and it's like when it satisfies you and you hear it back, you know. Like I just heard a record yesterday that really made me laugh because it just sounded so good to me. You know, you guys know Randall Bramlett, amazing Austin, Texas singer-songwriter. He's a legend down there. But I made a record with him, you know, a year or so ago, and you know, had a lot of ideas on that record. We really got creative when we were making that. We didn't spend a ton of time on it, but we did get involved. And man, I heard one of those tracks yesterday, and I was like, God damn, it sounds good. Because you could tell we actually put our hearts in it, you know. A lot of this shit, you don't have time to put your heart in, right? There's not enough time, budget to really get in there and really come up with something. So you kind of got to just do whatever works. And those are the records that we hear on the radio a lot of times. And they usually suck. But that's okay. Hey, it's all part of the thing. This guitar is so fucking responsive, man. It's like hitting it's like when you hit the gas pedal, it just gives it to you. Everything you want. You let off the gas pedal, it's right there. That's what you look for in a guitar, friends. People are always asking me, what do you look for in a great guitar? It's all that. Like people say, what makes a 335 great? You know, or this and that. It's like, it's the response. It's the 0 to 60. Or 0 to 100 in my case. All right, friends, have I bored you enough today? I was going to get into some VCB, but once I started talking about the circle of life, the arc of life, I knew we were in for it. Oh, Lord. I appreciate all the sweet comments about yesterday's video, and I think a lot of you were amazed by the Steve Marriott Led Zeppelin thing I brought up. You know, I mean, you could look way deep into the Zeppelin catalog and see how much shit they actually did steal, but fuck it, who cares? I mean, they were amazing. They had a sound like no other band, and even if they were ripping shit off, who gives a fuck? When they played it, it sounded amazing. And yeah, Jimmy stole all his acoustic shit from Bert Jansch. Yeah, of course. You saw that interview where Bert Jansch says, yeah, when I met Jimmy one time and he wouldn't even look me in the eye. Because he stole so much shit from him, you know. But man, it's okay. Rock and roll was so young back in those days that a good repackaging was all we needed to be blown away. And it was such a soundtrack of our lives that you know, I remember the first time I sat in the movie theater and watched Song Remains the Same, high as a giraffe's ass. And it blew me away. I don't give a fuck if they stole all the shit. Who cares? It doesn't matter. You know, they did have a few original thoughts. And it was amazing when they did. Like, look at Dancing Days. Okay, if they stole that from something, I don't know what it was, because it sounds pretty unique to me. Kashmir, you know, those are pretty unique things. And they knew how to make it sound cool, man. I'm a huge fan. I'm not talking shit on Zeppelin people. I love them. And if Jimmy Page walked in this room right now, I'd be like, Jimmy, do you like half and half or black coffee? That's what I would say. And I'd love to talk to him, because I'm sure he's a sweet, sweet guy. And he's a big music fan, much like myself. And he knows his history, much like I like to think I do. I've gone back and studied this stuff. I've gone back and looked at where this stuff came from. When I was a kid, I was just happy to consume whatever the product was. As I got older, I wanted to see where the product came from. So I would go back and look at the roots of these things. And I'm still every day discovering, holy shit, that's where they stole that from. Like, I've gotten into blues more than ever lately. I'm not a blues guy, as you know. You guys know I'm not, but I've worn out most other music to the point where I can't listen to it anymore. So I need something fresh. And I'm kind of glad that I waited on all the classic blues catalog, because at least it gives me something to devour. And man, there's a lot of great shit in there, you know. That's not sports bar blues. That's not white guys trying to play 12-bar shuffles, which is probably my least favorite form of music. No offense to anyone. Well, Mexican, Latino, modern pop music is my least favorite music in the world. When you hear that in supermarkets, and no offense to anyone, I just don't like it. Latino pop. It's worse than modern country music. I'm telling you. Peace out, friends. Have a great day today. Have a great weekend. Drink a beer for old Larry, okay? See you, friends.